Alright guys, American Trucker here. I'm going to kind of tell you the situation I got going on here at this receiver. I'm not too happy at the moment, but I'm hoping things will work out, but we'll just see what happens. Anyways, so I checked in at this receiver yesterday, and today is Monday. Sorry, I'm sitting there trying, my days mixed up. Today's Monday. I checked in on Sunday, and I checked in yesterday around noon on Sunday. My appointment time was at 02 in the morning Monday, which was this morning. And so I had about a 14-hour wait for my live load. So it was a live load. So if you're new and watching this and you don't know, live load basically means you stay hooked to the trailer. When it comes your appointment time, they tell you what dock to pull in. You pull in with your trailer, open the doors, they unload you, and when they're done, you pull out, you keep your trailer, and then you go on to, your next load. A drop and hook is when you have a trailer full and then you go to a receiver and you don't pull into a dock, you just pull into a staging area where they have trailers. You unhook your trailer, they verify that you unhooked it, seals intact, all that good stuff, and then you go ahead and grab an empty trailer and you leave and go on to your next load. And then whenever they can get to the trailer that you dropped off, their yard dog will come grab it and put it in the dock, and then they'll handle it from there. So a drop and hook and a live load is two different things. If you're brand new to trucking, if you've been trucking over for a while, then you know the difference for sure. But so this was supposed to be a live load at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got there at noon on Sunday. The live load was 2 in the morning on Monday. So what I did was about midnight, I got a pre-plan from my fleet manager saying, hey, can you take this load tomorrow? Will this one work? And it was a good load. I said yes, I'll take it. I definitely have the hours, I can make it happen. And that would have made about a $6,500 gross week, because I would have delivered the pre-plan. I would have delivered that load Wednesday morning at around 10 a.m. and Prime's cutoff for payday is 4 p.m. 1600 or 4 p.m. on Wednesday, so I definitely would have delivered that on time. And I did the math, and I thought, already figured it up, and I was already planning on having a $6,500 week, at least $6,500, and then actually detention is what I would have added in. It would have been another several $100, $300, $400, $500, just depending. But so potentially $6,500 to $7,000 gross week, which in this economy is really good as far as I'm concerned. Just to give you an example, if you watch my last payday video for this past week that I just got paid for, I grossed $4,044, I think. So $2,500 to $3,000 difference in 1 week is what I would have made. Now that got all screwed up because of the receiver that I'm at. So we'll see what happens. But bottom line is, I got here at noon. I know I'm repeating myself, but I got here at noon on Sunday. My delivery was at 2 in the morning on Monday. So around midnight or so, I started getting a little tired. Got that pre-plan. I knew I needed to get up as soon as possible and get moving the next day. So what I did was I walked back to the office, the receiving office where I initially checked in at midnight, and and I said, hey, my appointment's in 2 hours. I know I see you guys are backed up and you got a few other trucks here, but I would like to try to get some sleep. Is it possible that I just unhook from the trailer and park it next to me, and then that way at 2 o'clock in the morning, instead of you guys calling me and me getting up, could your yard dog grab it? I didn't think they would say yes, but I said, could your yard dog grab it and just put it in the door, and then when they're done, could he take it out of the door and then park it wherever, and I'll find it in the morning, and then that way I can get some sleep and I don't have to be up 2 in the morning and wait an hour or two in the dock, and then, you know, move the truck and trailer again and all that stuff. And she said, yes, no problem. So I was like, wow, you know, that was easier than I expected. You know, I've never really asked anybody to do this, by no means, and I figured they would say, no, it's a live load, you gotta stay hooked to your trailer, and then you just have to wait for them to call, I'm sorry. But they didn't. She said, yeah, that's no problem, just unhook your trailer, get you some sleep. I'll have the yard dog grab it. I'll make a little note on your paperwork. Whenever it's time to call, instead of calling you, I'll just let the yard dog know to go grab this trailer and put it in the dock, go get you some sleep, and then come back in the morning and get your paperwork when you wake up. I thought, man, that's perfect, right? That can give me some sleep, and I can get on the road first thing in the morning, and I ain't gotta, you know, stay up another 3-4 hours trying to get this one unloaded. So what happened was, I did that, and then I woke up this morning at 9 o'clock. Got up, was trying to see where my trailer was, and I knew, and it was still loaded. There was still on it, still loaded, had not been moved. It's in the exact same place. So I was like, I'm not sure what was going on. So I walked to the office and said, hey, I noticed my trailer is still loaded. You know, I thought the yard dog was going to grab it, you know, at 2 when my appointment time was, and then pull it in the dock and unload it. And she's like, oh yeah, well, we're running behind. We're still working on yesterday's, this is what she told me today, we're still working on yesterday's trucks, so you still have about 5 more trucks in front of you. So my appointment time was 2 in the morning, and after 2 hours you're supposed to start paid detention. And if you just have to look up a video on detention, but basically after 2 hours they got to start paying me if it's no fault of my own. If I showed up on time, I did everything I was supposed to do, you know, it's a live load. Most places they give you like a grace period. It's usually 2 hours. So if my appointment was 2 in the morning, come 4 o'clock, if they still don't have me unloaded, because I got to go on to the next load and, you know, continue working or get some sleep or whatever the case may be. So after a 2 hour grace period of them not getting unloaded, they got to start paying you per hour. That's what almost all companies do. It's called detention. And here at Prime, we get all the detention. Some places the company takes part of that detention, but here at Prime we get all the detention, and it can be anywhere from, you know, $40 to $60 per hour is the usual rate, as far as, you know, what I usually get, at least here at Prime. So that's a significant amount of money, $40 to $60 per hour. Excuse me. Allergy season. I'm down here in Texas. But so starting at 4 in the morning, I should have got paid. I'm still sitting here. I should have got paid whatever the rate is. I don't even know what it is on this one, but I know there's detention. Sometimes they tell you the exact rate, sometimes they don't. But it was anywhere between $40 to $60 an hour majority of the time, and I should have been getting paid that since 4 in the morning. But when I went back this morning and asked her about the trailer, and she told me that still haven't got to it yet, still haven't been unloaded, then I said, well, at least I'm still getting paid. At least I'm getting paid detention, you know, as of 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had another load. I hope I don't, get that canceled, which it did get canceled, because I'm still sitting here. But I said to the girl working the office, I said, well, at least I'm getting detention pay. It's better than nothing. You know, I was trying not to complain, trying to look at it as a positive. He's like, well, it's actually a drop and hook since you unhooked from it. You know, so if it's a drop and hook, then you don't get paid detention. And I was like, wow, it's not. I was just told I could unhook from the trailer and the yard dog was going to grab it, but it's supposed to be a live load. So I mean, I should be getting detention, you know, once the grace period is over, you know, starting at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, well, I had to put it back. They put it in the system last night. It was a different person as a drop and hook. Since I actually technically unhooked from the trailer. But whenever I asked the girl, you know, could I unhook from it just to get some sleep, I didn't know that, and it didn't explain to me that they was changing it in their system from a live load to a drop and hook just because I unhooked from the trailer. You know, a drop and hook, usually you drop it, you grab another trailer and you go on, right? You continue to make money, so it's not a big deal. But when it's a live load, and you should be getting that detention pay if you're still waiting on them, for a full day or whatever the case may be. That goes out the window if they put it in their system as a dropping hook. So I was like, the trailer hasn't even moved. I've been here the entire night, the whole time. I could have just left it hooked up, I guess, and then when you guys would have considered it a live load, even though it never did even get called into, to the docks or anything. And she's like, yeah, it was a live load at first, but we had to change it as a dropping hook since you unhooked from the trailer. I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I was like, it ain't moved, so can you just go back in your system? I'm still here. I never left. I'll hook back to it, not a problem. Take me 5 seconds. And then can you put it back in the system as a live load? Because if not, then I won't get paid in detention. I've been here this whole time, and I'm still here waiting, not getting paid if that's the case. Then she's like, no. She's like, well, we can do that. She said, no, we can't do that and backdate it. But what we can do is I can change it back to a live load, but your check-in time will be right now when I change it. I'm like, well, one, that's going to look like then I was several hours late on delivering my load, and I'm not going to get any of that detention time. She said, that's just the way it is. I was like, man, that don't sound right. And what I don't do is, my first year, sometimes when I get in these situations, I didn't really know who to talk to or what I was doing, and I would go back and forth a little bit with the person that checks you in, but they don't make those decisions. They do what they're told. They have a system in place, and that's just that. So that wasn't the person to sit there and try to debate this out with. So I was like, that's messed up. That's a messed up way to doing things. If she would have told me last night, the girl that was on there, like, hey, if you unhook from this and the yard dog pulls it over there and stuff, you pulling over there 20 feet away, then you're gonna miss out on the detention. I would have like, oh, okay, well then I don't want to do that. I'll just stay hooked to it, and then if you call me at 2 in the morning, I'll just pull it over and do it myself. If you don't call me at all, then I guess I'll just be collecting detention, after the time period is up. And but that discussion didn't happen, so I thought they were just going to do me a favor and the yard dog was going to grab it so I could get some sleep. That wasn't the case. They went there and changed their system to a drop and hook, and then therefore now, as far as they're concerned, they're off the hook for detention pay, even though they're the ones running behind, right? That's what detention is for, is if it's no fault of your own, if it's their fault that they still haven't unloaded you, they're holding you up, so they pay you detention pay. So I walked back to the truck. I was like, let me just call the fleet manager. I don't want to get into it by no means with her, and let me go let the fleet manager handle it, which is hard for me to do. I spent over 2 decades in the military, and I'm used to handling problems myself, right? What I want to do so bad out here when I come to these situations, I want to ask for, the office personnel. I want to ask for their manager and speak to them directly, but I guess, I'm not in the military anymore, so what I need to do in those situations, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that, just having a discussion, but a lot of people is going to say that you should go back, tell your fleet manager, and let him handle situations like that. And I agree to some extent, but I would rather try to handle it myself first. But if it turns into an argument, between the truckers can't go in there and handle every issue directly with, can I ask for your boss, your boss, until it gets resolved. It's too much. So I guess my chain of command is, if I got a problem, things ain't working out, I just go let my fleet manager know and trust from that point forward. And I really like my fleet manager, but trust that he'll handle it appropriately, and things will work out in my favor. So anyways, I was walking back to my truck. There was a guy, bobtail, parked on the other side of me. He had been there all night. He was there whenever I pulled in. He was there before me. He seen me walking back to my truck. He seen me coming from the office walking back to my truck, and he opened his window and said, hey, you still waiting to get unloaded as well? And I was like, yeah. It's like, my appointment time was 2 in the morning. He's like, well, mine was at midnight last night. And so I explained to him, I said, hey, well, I don't know if you're getting detention or not, but here's I asked him if I could unhook so I could get some sleep, and if the yard dog could grab it for me and just put it in the dock door last night whenever it came came my time. And what they did was they changed it to a drop and hook in their system, so therefore I haven't been getting detention starting at 4 a.m. like I should have, or like I thought I was going to be getting, according to them. So you may want to, I don't know if that's what you did or what, but he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I did. They tell me whenever I pulled in, my appointment time wasn't until this time. They said if you want to, this is what they told him. They said if you want to, you can go ahead and just unhook the trailer. We'll have the yard dog grab it whenever a dock opens, when we're ready, and go get you some sleep. So I don't know if that's just a thing that they do here when they're running behind. Sounds awful fishy to me. If they're telling other drivers, I wouldn't ask specifically, but they told him, go ahead and drop it, get some sleep, we'll take care of it. But if that's the way they're doing to not have to pay attention because they know they're running behind and they're not going to get to it for several hours, maybe even a full day past your appointment time, and they get out of paying attention, if that's what they're doing that intentionally, that's very, very shady, right? And I almost can't believe that they're not doing that intentionally. If I went in there, explained the situation to them myself, and they say, well, that's just the way it is, we can check you back in now at this point in time as a live load, but all that other time that you got here, really the day before, we're not going to count that. That don't sound right to me. So I would love to be able to have this conversation personally, like I said, myself, with whoever the manager is over the receiving department at this place where I'm at. I'm not going to say the name, but I wonder if this is a common occurrence. If it happened to me, and I know that they understand the situation and they're still doing that, and then it happened to the guy right next to me who had no clue either that that's what they were doing, it just makes you think that it's happened many times before, and there's a lot of truck drivers out here that spend an extra day here or whatever, not making money because they can't go on to the next load, and then not getting paid attention, and the guys don't check up or follow up on that. The paycheck comes, they don't scrutinize it and look and see where all the money did come from or where it didn't come from. They may not even know. And if you do that on a daily basis to several truck drivers at $40 to $60 per hour, for 10, 15 truck drivers, 20 truck drivers per day, you do the math on that, that's a lot of money they've been screwing people out of. A lot of money. So I went and talked to my fleet manager. He said no, it's going to end the system as a live load. We're going to ask for detention, which I know you will. I got it. We have a little stamp that we put on at Prime, that we put on the paperwork whenever we finally do get our bills to leave. And it kind of says when you checked in, when the load time was it a live load and all that good stuff, and what time did you get unloaded. So they know that we're asking for detention, and my fleet manager said he was going to message sales now and let them know what was going on. But that's just going to come down to Prime arguing with shipping receiving office over here on trying to get me detention or not. So that was going to have a $6,500 week. If you would have added detention in, if I would have got that, it would have been maybe even close to $7,000 gross week before anything's taken out. And in this economy, that's a good week for me by all means, especially based off the last couple of weeks I've had. And now I may not get detention, and I got taken off this load that I was supposed to be going to Colorado, which was a $2,500 load, and I don't know when I'm going to get unloaded where I'm at now and what kind of load I'm going to get next. So I almost want to call it a scam. If truck drivers are pulling in here on live loads and they're saying, hey man, go get you some sleep, drop your trailer, we'll have the yard dog take care of it, you wake up in the morning, it'll be good to go, right? But they know that's going to be several hours past their appointment time. Even maybe when they wake up, it's still not unloaded, like myself. But that's a way they can kind of skirt around paying detention. If they're intentionally doing that, then that's definitely a scam. and I haven't run into this before, so I'm a little perplexed that, you know, somebody that would do that. I mean, I really want. I know I'm supposed to let my fleet manager handle it, and I've already talked to him. But the more I just continue to sit here, it's about noon right now when I'm making this video. Like I said, my appointment time is 2 in the morning, so it's noon the next day. I should have been on the road and on my way to picking up this morning, and then on my way to Colorado already. But that load got canceled. Now I'm just sitting here, not making any money on the next load, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get reimbursed for any of the detention that I'm sitting here still for, and that's up for debate still. So not very happy right now. That's the way it goes. That's the trucking business. First time I ran into this specific situation, I wonder, now I wondered before about other detention that I may not have got. I'm gonna have to start looking at that a little bit closer, keeping track of that a little bit better, making sure. I've really had no problem. Managers, well, at least, and my manager now, fleet manager, they've taken care of me pretty well. I really don't have no issues. I definitely don't have any issues with the fleet manager I have now. I don't think we've had too many differences of agreement yet. My first year leasing, I really enjoyed my fleet manager. Didn't have any major difference agreements with them, but we did disagree on a few things, but we always worked it out. We just was mature adults about it and worked it out one way or the other. We worked it out. I know some people maybe at Prime and other companies, especially other companies, I don't hear it that much at Prime, but have huge disagreements with their fleet managers and don't get along, and that's just too much stress for me, right? I like to get along with someone I work with, especially the main person that I work with, as much as possible. I don't need to kiss anybody's butt, and I ain't asking for that in return, but let's just work it out like adults, right? But anyway, so far the fleet manager I have now, I really like him. I feel like he goes to bat for me. I think he will on this one, as long as it doesn't fall off his radar. They got a lot on their plate, so I'm gonna keep track of this, follow up on this for sure, and see what happens. Everything in me wants me, as I sit here, wants to go back inside there and ask the lady in the office if I could talk to her manager and kind of explain this and just see if he can let the office worker, the woman, to say, hey, go back in there and change it, put his arrival times in, keep it as a live load the whole time, and make sure we pay this guy detention starting when we're supposed to start paying him. I may do that. I definitely can't get into an argument, by no means. That's not going to help any things, but I'd like to at least go in there and talk to one person above her and then see if we can't get this worked out, to make it smooth on the back end when it comes time to get paid. But anyways, that's it, guys. That's my story for now. That's what I'm doing. I had a good week going this week finally, and then now it got tore all to pieces, and I don't know what my next load is going to look like, or even when I'm going to get out of here. But again, you gotta expect the unexpected out here. Just when you think you got everything handled, everything is going smoothly, everything going exactly how you want it, you're having a great week, Murphy's Law kicks in, and then something happens. But you just got to keep your head in the right place, and you can get a little frustrated, you can get a little aggravated. I am now a little bit, but you got to recognize as quick as possible that, hey, again, I always say, focus on what you can control, right? You can't sit there and constantly stress about something that you can't control. This may not be a problem. I may get off this load, go on, have another, good load after this. When it comes time to get paid for detention, Prime says, hey, our guy sat there, we need the detention paid. They may say no problem. May not even be an issue. So don't sit there and fret and stress about things. Try to work on what you can work on, deal with what you can deal with, and then got to let it go after that. At this point, like I said, I might go talk to the manager just for a few minutes to see if I can work it out. But if I can't, then that'll be the end of this as far as me worrying about this. The next time I'll even worry about this or bring this up will be payday, when I look at my pay stub and see, did I get paid for detention? And if I did, then that's it, it's done with. But if I didn't, then I'll talk to my fleet manager, go back, re-explain the situation again, and then go from there and then see if we can't get it worked out. But that's it, guys. That was what the video was about. yesterday I did walk to a Anytime Fitness. There's no Planet Fitness gym where I'm at, but I'm pretty close in here around a lot of things, and I did walk to Anytime Fitness, so I got a good workout in, got a shower in. It was $5. You know, to me that's worth it. Like I said, if there was Planet Fitness, then I remember I don't have to pay anything, but there's not one here. I think the closest one from where I'm at is maybe Dallas or something, but there was Anytime Fitness. If you just Google gyms near you, then I always, if I go to a gym I've never been to before, call them up, ask them, can I pay like a 1-day fee? You know, ask them, do they have showers? When I'm done, I can take a shower. You know, ask them if, you know, if they allow truck parking. If you have a trailer, is it big enough? Look on Google Maps or Google Earth. I've said Google Maps a lot of my videos, but it's Google Earth. I look on Google Earth and then look, is the parking lot big enough for a tractor and a trailer? And then or you can, if you're waiting like this at a place here and you have a secure location where you can drop your trailer, I lock it up, not just the back, of course, we always keep a lock on the back, but I have a little lock that goes on the gosh, what's that called, the fifth wheel, the pin. I have a lock that goes on that so nobody else can hook up to it. So I'll lock that up, and then you have airline locks that you can put on there as well. So there's a few things you can do, but it needs to be in a secure location, at least in my opinion. I guess you can do whatever you want to do, you know, whatever risk you want to take, but I personally don't unhook from a trailer at a truck stop and then go bobtail somewhere. I don't feel comfortable doing that personally. So, but if I'm at a receiver or a shipper and I'm inside their yard, usually they have a fence, things like that, I talk to the people inside, let them know, hey, can I unhook this trailer? And I still lock it up, but can I unhook this trailer and then go do what I got to do if I need to do something or want to do something, if I know it's going to be a while, make sure they don't have a problem with it. That way the yard dog knows what's going on. If he goes in there and asks, hey, what's going on with this trailer sitting here, you know, everybody's on the same page, then I may bobtail somewhere. If not, I'll walk somewhere. So that's just some options that you can do. But anyways, with the gym, I call gyms in, you know, in the area if there's no Planet Fitness, which most time there is where I go. But I paid $5, went inside, you know, this gym, had a place to park. You know, if you needed to park, all that good stuff. But anyway, so work on your physical fitness. Definitely work on your mental fitness. Being out here wondering where I'm getting paid detention or not, sitting here for a full day, that's part of working on your mental fitness. You know, having a good load, you know, looking at that load and adding that into my week, planning out my week, thinking I'm going to have a good week, and then it just gets snatched out from you because I'm still not unloaded yet at the place where I'm at. That falls into mental fitness, being able to deal with those things and handle those things and work them out in your head appropriately without getting frustrated and sitting here, you know, just worrying to death. But anyways, I said I wasn't going to make long videos like this. This one's 28 minutes. Just want to let you know, guys, what was going on currently with my situation. And if you want to subscribe, do that. Like, leave a comment. If you want to share this with someone, do that as well. Appreciate it. And if you got any ideas of videos that you want me to make about Prime or trucking in general, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to make shorter videos. I don't even think nobody watches videos this long, but I gotta try to keep it to 10 minutes or less, so I'll work on that as well. Alright guys, American Trucker, I'm out.